Okay, this is a slip lead. You hold the ring like this, you thread the chain like this, and now it looks like a P when you're holding it in front of you. You slip it over the dog's head. Okay, got the collar on Barkley. Barkley hasn't been walked on the leash in a really long time. And the dog goes where you go. Give her a little scratch, you know, give her a little physical contact reward. Doesn't need food. Right, Nikita? See, my leash is loose. Got an automatic sit off of her. Physical contact, girl. Nice and calm and quiet. None of this screeching. Yes, yes, yes. None of that. Storm? See how she's hugging up to me because she wants to do it some more. Come on, Storm. So I'm talking to these dogs through the chain, through my fingertips and through the chain. Now on these bigger dogs, I'm just clipping it like this because this chain's too small to go around his neck in a slip fashion. So I'm just taking it like this, clipping it like that. But he's already fully trained, that's why. Arms are down, leash is loose, there's no choking, gagging, any of that. You notice that get off, single one of my dogs will walk on this slip lead with no commands. They're getting the command from the collar, speaking to the dog through the sound of the chain rolling on itself. You're not choking the dog. People have been brainwashed to think this is some sort of a torture device. You learn how to use it properly. It's pressure and release. That's the way animals train each other. They do not wag a treat in front of each other's nose and compel each other to do a job, to do a task. Animals don't understand that. Yes, you can teach a dog tricks with treats, but good luck getting him to do those tricks without the treat. And only a very skilled trainer can fade those treats out. If you don't learn how to fade the treats out, then you go through that dog's life getting it to do everything with a treat, and you've got an obese dog that was never trained in its life. Let's say you've got a 5-year-old dog that you've been treat training for 5 years. Throw those treats in the trash. Get rid of your clicker. Get rid of your treat bag. And then go see if that dog will do anything you taught it to do. The answer to that is no. It might do it a few times, but when it's not getting paid, it's not going to do it anymore. You cannot 100% guarantee what a dog is going to do when it's treat trained, because it's always given a choice to do the job. Would you like to do the job? If you do the job, you get paid. Well, maybe I don't feel like doing the job. Maybe I see something over there that I want to chase. Maybe that squirrel over there is more interesting than your little piece of steak. They don't respect the trainer. They do not do the job because it's their job. They do it because they think they have a choice. They don't have a choice. That's reality. Get off of her. Just like Nikita humping the other female dog. You have got to be a strong leader. You don't hump her in front of me. You don't do that. I don't understand how everybody thinks that it's mean to properly train a dog and have control over your dog or your multiple dogs. They are much happier if they are being controlled. You will notice that as I was changing the collar from one dog to the next, all of the dogs went with me because they all wanted a turn. There's no food. There's no words because they're being communicated with through this. You can add words later when you get what you want, but it's pressure and release. It's the release of pressure. This little chink, that little noise right there, that tells them, you need to be listening to me. You need to be paying attention. You need to be doing what you're being taught to do. You need to pay attention to this lesson. So sadly, people have been brainwashed to think that if they're not clicking and treating and doling and yes, yes, and leading their puppy around with a treat on the end of its nose, those dogs are not learning. I'm sorry, they're not learning anything. That puppy that's focused on that treat that's being held on the end of its nose, all it can think about is it's following that treat. It doesn't realize that it's being trained anything. It's just following the treat. Put this over Storm's head. All right. Now, do you not see that every one of my dogs went with me? If they were afraid of these training methods, if they thought they were hurting, if they thought they were scary, if they thought they were painful, if they weren't getting anything out of it, they wouldn't follow me with Storm on the leash. They wouldn't be following along saying, pick me, pick me, pick me. Got to stop being brainwashed by this lunacy. Okay, dogs that actually do jobs in this life, like my border collies, are Canada Goose Control dogs. I have been training and working Canada Goose Control dogs for 21 years, and they have never had a treat during their training, not one time, because the work is the reward. The following me on the leash is the reward. They want to be with me. They see value in the time that we're spending together. You cheapen the relationship with your dog when you're treat, treat, treat. My Goose Control dogs, that's how I make a living, is through Canada Goose Control with Border Collies. I work 5 days a week with Border Collies on corporate properties, and they never, ever, ever are trained with a treat. They are trained to do a job, and the reward is in the work. I don't know what else to tell you. If you have an adult dog and you've been struck, now look, I'm not going to say put this on your little 8-week-old puppy, because no, you're not going to do that. Their brain is not ready. A puppy really isn't ready for training. You see these people with 8 and 12-week-old puppies, they expect them to be good on the leash. No, I don't start my dogs on the leash, real leash training, until they're about 6 or 8 months old, even 12 months old. I don't start my border collies. Now, when they're puppies, I introduce them to pressure and release, and we do all that. But they spend most of their time just growing up. And if you have to take your dog out, a puppy out on a leash, because you live in an apartment or whatever, you just take it out there on a harness, and you let it go to the bathroom, and then you take it back in or whatever. But you're not going to start teaching it to heel and follow you and be on your left side and give to pressure. Their brain isn't ready for that, okay? So don't go put this on your little puppy and start training it. And seriously, don't put that treat in front of your puppy's nose and expect it to stay up to your left side and yes! Oh, it's good, yes! I mean, that is so freaking ridiculous, because what you're teaching your dog is, if I don't get a treat, I don't pay attention. If I don't get a treat, I don't work. I do not work. Dogs don't need to get paid. Okay? They don't have thumbs, opposable thumbs. They cannot go to the cupboard and get their food out and put it in a bowl and put it on the floor. They know who feeds them. They know who waters them. They know who lets them in and out of the crate, or however you're keeping your dog. They know. You are the supreme being in that dog's life. You don't need to pay as you go. And if the less you use treats, the more that the dog will find value in the work and the time spent. My dogs can wait for me to put them on the leash. I mean, watching my dogs, get off of me. Watching my dogs with me. See, I don't take any garbage off my dogs. And they love me. They follow me everywhere I go. They want the leadership. This is not an implement of torture. You can use a cloth slip lead if you want to, but it's not as forgiving as this. You know, it's hard to believe, but when you put a cloth slip lead on a dog, it doesn't release the pressure. When you pull on that cloth, then you got to reach down with your finger and go under the cloth to release the pressure. So unless you have a really trained dog or you have a very light touch, this is much more humane, because the second you let up on it, it releases the pressure. You hear any of my dogs choking while I'm doing this? No. You're not choking the dog. You learn how to use this correctly. So if you have a dog and you've gone through puppy class and you've gone through basic and you've gone through CG, look, I taught all these classes, and I mean, quite frankly, I bought the Kool-Aid years ago, and I was all into the positive. And you know what I saw? I saw dogs that failed at life. They could do everything in a controlled classroom, fine. But when you got them out in the real world, they couldn't do it. So at the very least, you need to combine. If you want to dole out treats, knock yourself out. But I'll tell you what, they need to learn to give to pressure and to pay attention. Or you can take that dog. If you take a puppy through puppy class, and you take it through CGC, and you take it through advanced CGC, and you take it through obedience, and you can't take it out to the park and walk it without it lunging and barking at dogs, those training methods have failed you. Those trainers have failed you. And I did it. I drank the Kool-Aid. I read A Dog and a Dolphin. I went to all the seminars. Patricia McConnell. I went to every seminar known to man. I went to Cornell University and went through all the canine aggression courses and all that kind of stuff. But the bottom line is, positive only treat doling gives the dog a choice whether it's going to do it or whether it's not going to do it. The relationship is with the food. It's not with you. I don't know what else to tell you. You've just watched all my dogs, most of my dogs, I don't know if we got to everybody, walk on this, and those that didn't get on it followed along. Dogs learn, they teach each other. You watch a litter of puppies, wham, they're fighting, they're pushing each other away, they're pushing each other off the bed, they're jerking the toy out of the other dog's mouth. Pressure and release and pack order. That's how dogs learn. That's how they're the happiest. All my dogs are right here with me. I don't have treats. I have this collar. That's all I have. They just want me. They want my attention. I don't need to be doling out treats to get their attention. I don't need even this freaking leash. So I'm going to end this video right here. These dogs hate me because of the way that I train them. Can't you tell? Can't you tell? Thanks for watching.